Someone left something behind here. Break out that gizmo of yours. Let's see if we can find it.
Damn it. I'm a train mechanic, not a railway worker. Someone's got to fix the bridge. Fine. Get anyone to do it. I don't know any more about bridges than the next guy. I need a hit.
I can hear them from time to time. It used to sound like war not so long ago, when we still tried to hold them back. Now all you hear is the occasional scream and that deranged, ecstatic laughter. Let them stay here. Please, let them die here.
Okay, I'll admit that it's pretty fun to swing the hammer around. Not much room for that when you're keeping trains from crapping out. Still, they could at least get someone else down here to help hold the planks. Last of the planks now. Can't wait to get out of here. Good enough. Should hold for people on foot at least.
The experience is different every time. Unique, like the shards of a broken window. But they're all like dreams at first, half forgotten and hazy. Then it becomes clear and it's like they're right next to you. Isn't that strange? Anyway, let's move along. There's more to be done. Ah, Atlas Park. Lush, tranquil, secluded. They built it for the view and the symbolism. And the utility. This is the city of Chernosk, where innovation is key and even the architecture is experimental. Let's have a look around the park. I think we're going to find something here. Maintenance? I don't see any stairs. This is a fire hazard. For the record, I did say this was the city of innovation and not the city of functioning utilities.
What am I doing? This Potochnik is an unknown, a risk. But the guys need some R&R, even if it's just booze and magazines. I could demand he hands it over, but... that's a whole other can of worms. And he said he wouldn't pass the guns on to anyone here.
Keep your voice down, idiot. Yeah, I have it. What do you have?
Lorazepam. Here, look. 24 doses, and it's popular already. him. Gotta be him with those golden glasses. He's been following us. I knew it. Did he see me? No, couldn't have. Oh, God, Joyce! Where's Joyce?
We set up a trust fund for Joyce when she was born. Assorted stocks and assets, but mostly shares from the Institute. Part of the annual bonus packages. It's all worthless now unless someone goes back there. And no one is ever going back there. Riho, I'm sorry. It was my fault. I wanted Eagle View to work out for us, but I should have listened to you. Joyce asks about you every day, and I tell her you'll come as soon as you're done helping out there. She smiles, and I see you in her eyes. A gun? You bought a gun?
For our safety. There's no telling who's after us or where they are now. You saw what happened. Look, I'll leave it here. If someone shows up, you know where to find it.
Have you ever seen those photos of old abandoned playgrounds? Animal figures all faded and warped. Creepy stories to go with them. There's something about a fresh new playground, silent and still, that's worse.
Ice cream! Get your ice cream here. Soft serve, banana split, trinkets to ward off the madness, anyone? They're all magic and they're all cheap. Ma'am, how about a talisman for the little one?
Oh, raspberry twirly and chocofish. I wish there was still ice cream.
Whee!
Hey, mister. Are you looking for someone? Mister? What are you doing? No! No! Help! Help!
It wasn't my fault. It was him. He followed us here.
Coward! Damn you, I should have known! All you ever do is run!
Selma, wait. This isn't you. It's that thing. It's still active. You know that. Selma! Selma, no!
Do you think she wanted to do that, or did she, in the moment between breaths, simply forget that she didn't? It's still active. That's what he said. Whatever happened to everyone is still happening.
We gave Pavel and Salma some basic med kits in this house so they could start up a clinic of sorts. Said they were doctors, but not what kind exactly. Is that why someone targeted them? To sabotage us? No, doesn't explain the girl.
didn't even have a tent. I slept under this tree, ate the leftovers that others deigned to give me. I'm invisible because they don't want to look at me. But because I'm invisible, I could watch them. The officer and the trinket salesman. Was that Tanya just now? I could swear it was. And she had this huge bag. Can't be here for me. They hardly ever noticed I was even there. So... Oh no. They're going through with it. The stuff William was raving about. Do I tell someone?
Arturo Montiel, 27 years old. Says he knows where the guns are coming from and who killed Pavel, but won't spill a word until I guarantee his safety and comfort. I'll see what I can do. Poor bastard's been sleeping under a tree.
Corporal Bodrov built the fences. Corporal Bodrov addressed the unrest. Up yours, Sarge. You got what was coming to you, and I didn't even have to do it myself.
Never paid this Arturo guy any mind. Just another shit stain with nothing to trade. Now Andropov's giving him his own tent because he found something to trade with? Me? Says he knows where the guns came from, but does he? Oh, you're in trouble, kid. September 12th. I'm stuck. Andropov is expecting me to talk, and I keep stalling him. He's been giving me food, good food, and as soon as he has my testimony, that stops. And what about the trinket salesman? Does he know? Oh, God. What do I do?
There's a story about a man who sold his mouth so he could afford to eat. A victim complex is a warm and comfortable paralytic.
They hate us. When we first came marching in, I think most of them were relieved. Then we had to stockpile the food so we could ration it. Then we had to crack down on dissent before it could take root. Now, they hate us. And who could blame them?
When there was still some semblance of order, his platoon was assigned to a roadblock on the Chernosk Highway. The evacuation was to be orderly. As the lines grew longer, panic became anger. The cars are still there, a memorial to the greater good.
How do you figure the Sarge keeps coming up with this stuff?
Says he's tracking down hidden stashes. Do you care?
No, not really.
Drugs and weapons. Pills, needles, powders, uppers, downers, sheaves and switchblades. We've been confiscating this stuff for a long time now, but more of it keeps finding its way in. I can't help but wonder if there's a central supplier.
The team we sent down into the culverts report they have found a number of machines and electronic devices that could be salvaged, along with spools of copper wire and extra fuses. Perhaps we can finally boost the radio signal and reach someone.
People are disappearing. too many to ignore, too quietly to have left. The soldiers say they haven't seen anything, but what if it's connected to the deaths? Darwaza, Pavel, the girl. Everything's coming apart and there's something I'm not seeing.
We had to destroy the stairs. A drastic measure, but after we confiscated the food, we found several civilians trying to sneak into the camp. It's possible they will come in force next. They were here first, after all. Hearts and minds, huh?
Oh, they just had to. Call down artillery on us while you're at it, why don't you? Right. Unless you want to try rebuilding that thing, I guess we're using another way up there.
You had a lot of enemies here, people who hated you. Maybe I did too. But now, I'm just sorry it had to end this way. It was one of mine who shot you, I don't doubt it. So I'm sorry, Sergeant, for that, if nothing else. She fell from here. But what was she doing here in the first place? The hole is clearly visible. She wouldn't be playing so close to it. Was she pushed? Somebody said they heard several screams. But who would do such a thing? So, what about her? Salma Anderson. Park roster has the girl listed as her daughter, but doesn't say if Pavel was her husband. And now she's gone into thin air. An entire family, just like that. And I can't answer the most important question. Why? Pavel Kulik, that was your name. You're dead because we failed to catch whoever is bringing guns in. You're dead because I failed. Now all I can do is look for your killer like I'm still a detective. But why you and the girl? What's going on? I feel like I'm on the verge of understanding, but that might just be wishful thinking. I should take stock of the evidence. So much death. Darwaza was shot by a civilian, I'm sure of it. Had nothing to do with Pavel, but the guns are the exact same model. A military model. But why supply the civilians? Unless that was never the intention, then who could trade for them? They call me liaison. tells me I'm important for the relations here between them and my people. My people. Drafted most of my officers too. Sold them some story about restoring order. I really thought we had something here.
It's a powerful compulsion, the why. These are the questions that drove Andropov on, even more so than the who. Why would someone want to hurt us? Why these people? Why now? Why am I the only one who cares?
Dear Mr. Andropov, I am writing this letter on behalf of everyone here in Atlas Park. We would just like to say thank you. Thank you for everything you have done. When we left the shelter, we didn't know what to do. And suddenly, you were there.
He caught a serial killer as his first assignment on the job. The murders were brutal, and the case became an obsession for our friend Andropov. He met the families of each victim in turn, and the atrocities that would have hardened others made his heart soft instead.
With absolute certainty it was him. Would know that voice anywhere. Why the girl? Can't have been intentional, no motive. Salma's girl. Rio's girl. Salma here, and Rio? Confusing. No sign of the effects. Must have a plan.
Okay, I will be Princess Scarlet. You can be Ago, the barbarian, or the dragon rider. You can't be the prince. Ew!
Feathers and glue. People are willing to pay for this because he says it'll keep the madness away? Silver-tanned bastards making mint. Really should ask him if he's seen anything. But could I trust his word?
Enough. Take our food, take our things. People are disappearing. Little girl takes a fall. You think we can't see what you're doing here? Enough! Death to fascists!
A locked steel hatch? I don't know about you, but when I see a locked steel anything, I get awfully curious. Looks like we'll have to pry it open.
Old man detective is sniffing around again. Shithead thinks he's still a cop, but can't hurt to be safe, what with the witness he dug up. Can't count on the Green Boys either. So, worst comes to worst, I'd cut my losses and get out through here.
Be advised. Systems operation compromised. Security lockdown protocol in effect.
He's okay. I've never used a gun before. I'm sure I just grazed him. He'll be okay. Do I go back? No, I can't. Nothing's there for me. Nothing at all. Oh, Joyce.
Have you ever seen doors like these in sewers? Looks more like a prison or a bunker to me. In fact, I'm not sure these are sewers at all. They don't smell right. There should be a moist stench, but these tunnels smell like burnt copper?
Movement in the sewers. Multiple signatures. Military personnel. Must be. Breached automatic lockdown. Threat to security. Surveillance. Emitter. Emergency action required. But response team no longer available. On me, then.
Mom has been arguing with Pavel a lot, but she won't say why. She won't tell me where Mommy is either, but I heard her say Mommy's name yesterday. She was crying. I want to watch the stars, but it's always cloudy.
Oh, come on. Who built this place? This thing's busted pretty bad. Patching it up might release the magnetic clamp locks on those heavy doors. But where could we find a Band-Aid?
Four quadrant centers, 8 service stations. 12 switches. Cables, cables, cables. Chernoska anthill. Entire system connected. Deadman switches, 3. Accessible from here.
He was always older than his years, always fascinated with the connections between things. There's poetry in instruction manuals, and art in electric circuits. He built his own dynamo at the age of 12, then set out to connect it to something. Falling is a gentle thing until the end. The idea of her last thoughts will haunt everyone here, because even now there are crimes too abhorrent to consider. Horrors that surpass the very death of the world. Falling is a gentle thing. For all of us. I always wondered, when there are few humans left, does an individual life become precious? Or is it just one more on the pile? Now this is interesting. Cameras, microphones. Turns out Atlas Park is a lush green police state. Who do you think used to monitor all this? And what were they afraid of?
That is Pavel and Salma, sure of it. And the child, Salma's daughter? Her name, Joy? Impressive to have made it here. But why? Were they informed about the park? No longer sure about staff integrity. Can't risk it. My responsibility. Almost done. Will be useful. Sure of it. Would appreciate prototype, but blueprints workable. Where to deliver? Head office surely evacuated. Mountains? Prototype kept there. No need. Authorities best bet, if authorities still exist. Marius Grigori. Lead engineer, Atlas Park Quadrant. Inventor of the MT-16 Bogatyr system. Level 4 clearance. Signal. Need stronger signal. City Hall Quadrant, dark. Grey Light Quadrant, dark, ironically. Harbor Quadrant, still transmitting distress signal. Atlas Park Quadrant, operational. So far.
Hey, guy! How are you doing in there? What's that? The bucket is full. Well, balance it on your head for 5 minutes and I'll give you a new one. You know, when the Sarge told me to address the unrest, I thought it would be the worst assignment ever.
An underground gulag. There are scratch marks on the bars.
Disable grid, disassemble device. Simple process, if undesirable. No choice. Military opening wrong doors, system at stake. Can't raise head office on radio or the mountains. Alone. My decision. No choice really. Emitter, a threat. Must disable power grid first. Bright side, Salma will have a chance. Last little mercy. Atlas Park Quadrant, dark. Chernosk, safe. Project, discontinued. NATO hide emitter component, finish the job. Code, 2044, must remember.
This installation was his pride and joy. He stayed at his post through the storm and kept the machines running and the data ticking. And then he shut it all down to save us from it, and it from us. I wonder what it feels like to amputate your own sense of purpose. I remember something. A long, screaming sound, and an endless silence. That was before I opened my eyes. Before I found you.
Look at it, eh? Oh, mine. When the Philadelphs went running off, I bet they never thought their stuff was gonna see business again. Stupid bastards could have made a killing if they'd had a brain between them. Betcha they're laid up in a ditch instead.
Once upon a time, there was a family in Chernosk. They had a big treasure full of shiny things, but the mean blue dragon was always trying to take it away from them. So they told their knight, Sir Potochnik, to hide the treasure. And hide it he did. This is strange, but it seems somehow relevant, don't you agree? I think it's out of order, which should hardly surprise us. Like a soda machine when you're really thirsty. Well, let's see if we can't find a way to get it fixed.
Be advised. Operational status restored. Lifting security lockdown.
There we go. I'm not sure what you did, but I feel different. Do you feel it too? Like 100,000 voices at the back of your head? No? Maybe it's just something I ate. I think we're done here, though. We should move on now.